We have a segment called Ask Dan, where you, the viewer, get to write to me questions about relationships and marriage, and I get to answer. Today's question comes from, I don't know whether it's a gentleman or a lady, and the person writes, "Dear Dan, I lost my job. Please help me to stay with my family. I feel like I'm losing hope." I can understand how you're feeling, because when you have a family, one of the things that you want to do as a man and also as a woman is to provide for your family. So when you lose your job, it can really frustrate you. So one of the things that you can do is tell your spouse, you know what, I'm feeling like I've lost hope, and what is going on in your heart. And then both of you need to sit down and agree, how can you get yourself to a place whereby either you're working again or you're doing something to generate income. But remember this, there's more to you than your job. There's more value that you bring into your family than just your job. So ask yourself, what kind of a husband are you? What kind of a wife are you? What kind of a father, a mother are you, besides the provision? Because yes, right now you don't have a job, but it will not be the same thing forever. One day, things are going to get better. You are going to find an open door. Don't give up, communicate with your spouse, and you too can come up with a plan how to move forward and provide for your family. I wish you all the best. If you have any questions that you'd like me to answer, kindly write to us on 111 444 111 or reach us through our social media handle, and I'll be glad to answer. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to have a conversation with the Karanjas. Hey, you two, you're looking so good, eh?
Thank you.
My goodness, I was listening to your introduction. Wow. Quite a story, eh?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Buru Matatu.
The Matatu system.
Matatu system, eh?
Yeah.
Now, Marion, there's something that you said, that you changed your name from, you used to be Marion Ngina Wambua,
yeah.
and now you are Marion
Ngina Karanja. Yes.
Why the change of name, and why was that important for you?
So the funniest thing is that we talked about this before.
Yeah.
And he asked me, so are you going to hyphen my name?
Yes.
And that was not going to happen. So it's the live and cleave. Yeah. You said, yeah, you live and cleave.
Yeah.
So there was no living and hyphening, cleaving.
Yeah.
So it was just natural. I couldn't wait. In fact, I think a week after we got married, all my social media pages were changed to Karanja. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just me accepting my husband and who he is, where he's coming from, and showing that yes, I'm his wife. Yeah.
Wonderful. How did that feel?
New. Because it's something new for somebody to bear your name, and for a man that comes with responsibilities. Because now you know that this lady, when there's a problem, she's not going to her father, she's coming to you. And that now reveals to you that this is a new space that you're in. You better get used to it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. A responsibility, and you're feeling the weight.
Exactly.
And Marion, I've noticed that you share a lot, especially when it comes to celebrating your parents. Tell me about, your parents as a support system for the both of you, starting with you, Marion.
So my parents have been amazing.
Yeah.
They've brought us up in the church. So we were beaten very well as growing up. So we are disciplined children.
Yes.
And they've supported us in our careers. My parents are not those people for you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a doctor. They just let us be.
Yeah.
My brothers do what they love. One of my brothers is a photographer and a DJ. The other one is an accountant.
Wow.
My sister is a psychologist. So we are all doing what we wanted to do growing up. There was never, no, that is not a career that you can take. And even in relationships, I would say they've been very supportive from the day I just mentioned. Mr. Karanja here, they never said, no, we have to see him before you go on a date. Or no, you can't go. We've done trips, out-of-town trips, and my parents were okay. In fact, we were thinking about it. It's shocking that my mom is very strict.
She's very strict.
But I would be like, yeah, well, so we have a trip, or I'm going to visit his parents in Nakuru, and my mom's like, oh, okay, that's fine. So they've been very supportive. They prayed for us. They've stood with us through this whole journey, and I'm so grateful for that.
Wow.
And hence why I celebrate them every opportunity I get.
Oh, right. Lovely.
Yeah.
And Solomon, how about you? You know, like your parents and how in terms of your support system, your parents and your family.
I think I share her sentiments. My parents as well were very strict, especially my mom. She did not take any if you're going wayward, she would correct you, and she knows those ones for correcting you in private. It's then instant justice. So we have grown in a family where discipline is key. And so even when it came to my courtship and my dating, my mom was very intentional, because I mentioned to her that I have someone, and she kept telling me, "You're not bringing her home?" Because in telling my mother that you have someone is telling her that you're ready. This is coming from a place where I had never introduced anyone to my parents. So when I told her I have someone, "Oh, bring her home." And she came home and they met, and I remember I was listening to them chat in the kitchen. I'm like, okay, this is new.
Yeah.
But they have been of amazing support. My mom is an intercessor, so she prays for us, and I've seen in their marriage how marriage can work, and by seeing I have implemented.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, beautiful. And now that you mentioned both parts, now the issue of in-laws. I mean, people talk about in-laws as if they are the worst, like monsters. How is the in-law relationship in your marriage as a support system?
Okay, you go.
Look at you two, look at each other, then you laugh.
Our parents are good friends, I would say.
Good friends.
They gelled, and it was something to thank God for, because in most families it's very prevalent that in-laws don't see eye to eye. But it was interesting that just before our traditional wedding, we had like a small meetup where both our parents met with a small group of representatives, and you could say that this was not forced. They really got along, and they still get along. And I remember actually our MC saying that during our wedding is the first wedding that he saw the married couple being placed aside and the parents taking a photo together outside the church.
Yes.
So that says something, and we are very grateful for that, because that has allowed our marriage to flourish. And it's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would say I have the best in-laws, not just
That's
the
a huge
parents.
statement. That should be like breaking news.
Yes. I am grateful every day
Yeah.
that I have them, my in-laws as my parents, because I call them my parents as well. Even his siblings, like I can't talk to his sister or his brother, nothing. We all gel. And they've been from the get-go, from when we were courting, they accepted me. So I have an older sister and his sister, and an older brother, and his mom calls me at times and says, "Oh, Salimia."
Yeah. What
My
happens?
son.
She's
a
not
lot.
calling him,
No.
she's calling you
Yeah.
to pass the greetings.
Yeah, just call me. And we'll say hi to my son.
Yes.
Yeah, and like that, I talk to the sister if I need any advice, because she has 2 children.
Yeah.
And now that I'm bringing up a young girl, I ask her, "Okay, so this is happening. What should I do?" Our relationship is amazing, and to have people to be married into a family that believes in God, that's like hitting a jackpot. Because I'm not worried about, okay, shall we go and then we are not going to church, or these people don't go to church, or these people do this and that you don't agree with. So it was so easy for me to blend in with the family.
Yeah. Wow.